little bit difficult to see that. But hey, if you have 4 Elsas in your deck and you have 4 Maleficents in your deck and you have several, high costed characters right now in the game, and we can see, over the course of the weekend, the single prices are rising. I'm not mad at a double sleeve.
No, the deck just looks large to me.
Sure. Sure. So we have Jonathan on the left and Ryan on the right. We have a reflection. Is there a reflection? Did I miss a reflection in this deck, or are we showing off random cards? I didn't see a reflection. I don't think so. All right, I'm just making sure because I was like, wait a minute. So this is a pretty run-of-the-mill matchup. It's one that we expect to see all throughout Chapter 1, if I'm being completely honest. Now, as the control player yourself there, Scott, what are you looking for early on in the game to get yourself to a better position?
Card draw. Just complete card draw. Given this matchup, if he knows the matchup pretty well, really an Olaf is not a huge threat. Flynn represents sort of a threat, and then the rest of the early game is not where you need to be worried about. It's the mid game and reacting to the Cuscos, Mad Hatters, Genies, those Hans, the 4-cost Emerald Hans. Those are the cards you need to be worried about. So having enough cards to get yourself to that point of the game, and not necessarily and draw into the threats in the mid game and draw cards in the early game, I think just leaves you in a stronger position. Flynn can be dealt with like any one card, even like a
right.
So I wouldn't worry much about that.
Like you have your Archimedes, you have your 1-up Tibbs, you have Brooms that can also do it.
Yep.
So all those cards have ways to get around the Flynn. So I'm definitely all for those things. Obviously, if you can get the most out of your Rafikis, that's great. Also, this list does have the Gaston as well, so that's another one that's just like a freebie on that. Plenty of answers for it across the board, so I have to agree. But if you can set up a board state where your Gaston gets to trade with Mad Hatters and Cuscos, you're in a way better position in the game.
Yeah.
Now, from the other side here on the aggro side, looking at Ryan's deck, it probably does have a lot to do with getting some impact early, just to threaten to maybe even.
We have a different match, by the way.
Oh no, do we?
I saw steel and amber cards being shuffled.
Oh no, we got lied to.
Yes.
Are we getting? Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what I see being. I can definitely see Ariel on the left-hand side.
Oh,
it looks like. Yeah.
We just did a whole lot of talking about decks that weren't here. It's fine. Now you guys know all about the other match that we're not going to see. And we have Brooks versus Anthony. Is that what we have here?
It looks that way.
So Brooks is our steel Amethyst control deck. We saw Brooks earlier. I've seen this deck before, so this is definitely not the matchup we thought we were getting. That's fine.
So it's Steel Amethyst against Steel Amber, right?
That's what it looks
Amber
like.
Steel. Yeah. So we've seen the deck on the right with the Maleficent playmat many times.
Right. So we have Brooks on the left, and then Anthony on the right.
Yeah, so he's using the Simbas to basically get rid of the cards he thinks are not viable in this matchup. By discarding Stitch Rockstar, I assume he just figures he doesn't have. He has another one. Okay, Stitch New Dog. So he gets in early here with the Simba for an easy 1 lure. He knows he needs to win early because he knows the Amethyst Steel deck can just take over the mid and late game.
Right.
So I don't disagree with this line at all. He's leaving himself vulnerable to grab your sword, but he's not necessarily leaving himself vulnerable to that many other answers. The Broom does kind of shut down the Simbas here, but I actually think he might just go. If I'm him, I'm just swinging right through them because a grab your sword is going to wipe your board anyway. So why let him like get his own plan? Just keep going.
Right. So we'll get songs on the board.
Yeah. So did Ariel? Yeah, Ariel hit with Into a Whole New World.
Right. All right. Cool. So we're getting caught up. We were misinformed, guys. I'm very sorry. I was looking forward to the other matchup. It's okay.
So he does exactly what I said. Just swing right through. Like let
Yeah,
the
you have to.
one step at a time. Who cares?
This deck is very much about pressuring, and it's about getting the most out of your early game, and then just refilling your hand. We saw in the top 8 cut where he was able to win a game basically from 2 Whole New Worlds, and he was able to win another game with Rockstar. But all of that comes from the pressure in the early game to get yourself in the position to even win that out. So we'll have to see exactly what the strategy will be for this one. Knowing he already has the Whole New World is a big deal.
So if you're the Amber Steel player here, do you sing a Whole New World immediately and just?
So I think you definitely. I don't think you probably don't have to do it right now. But if I can't see his whole hand there, I know he has like a pretty. Looks like he has
Tinkerbell, grab your sword. Tinkerbell, grab your sword, and the Whole New World.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably be hoping to get more out of my hand currently. So this might go. That Zimba might go a long way in getting there. Like you can just now Zimba pitch something, see if you can find like another 2 or 3 costs to make the decision. But like even grab your swords right now like isn't very good. So I don't know if I want to be there.
I mean, if you're planning on playing a Whole New World next turn, I would just play grab your sword now anyway. The Ariel is not going to get wiped out by the Elsa on the re-attack anyway. And the Elsa.
Oh, absolutely. It also just means that whatever Elsa does run into, if she isn't singing Friends on the Other Side, she's going to, she'll get banished.
Right.
That's a big thing. And I think even inking the Zimba here is also mostly fine. But instead, we're just going to...
Okay.
So this is also not, it's not the end of the world here. We get to sing. We have 4 resources.
Right.
Right. And we get to pressure the game even further.
Yeah, I think he had a grab your sword in hand. I couldn't see. I mean,
I guess he also ripped a Stitch Rockstar here, which is really good. Getting to shift into him, getting more lore, all very, very good points to get to in the game.
So giving your opponent 7 cards, I definitely would have really studied what my opponent got rid of, because if he didn't get rid of a Mickey, then I'm more likely to swing the Simba into the broom.
Right. It looks like he got rid of 2 grab your swords. That's pretty massive for this matchup.
So does he? I think he goes the 5 lore there. Yeah. So it's 5-0.
5 lore. Yeah, 5-0.
So I mean, I do think the singing a Whole New World there kind of mitigates the friends that he even would have sang in the situation. Oh, he inked a Mickey.
That's actually a very interesting choice. Since he has another one here.
I wonder if he has a second one. I mean, that's shocking to me.
So he runs He runs into Ariel.
Yeah. No, he just takes her out with a cannons.
Cannons. Okay.
I think I would have used the broom as a walking cannons here.
Yeah, I guess if we're playing another Elsa, it's fine. But I think I would have been okay with just playing Mickey there and walking through the turn.
Yeah. I mean, the broom coming back to your hand means that you get a free ink at worst comes to worst, even if you're not replaying the broom over and over again. But
right.
Because I mean, against Steel, obviously the brooms are not long for this world, but I would definitely take the free card draw when I had it. The 3/4 with 2 lore out of Mickey is not worthless. So I mean,
no,
you already know that he's going to go into this turn with Rockstar being active, and probably he's just going to out advantage you. And because you're not playing Ruby, you don't have the be prepared to make up for the Rockstar turn. So you really need to get the card advantage when you can.
I like that he had to particularly announce that he had to Stitch trigger there rather than Bodyguard.
Hey, that's Pixelborn. That's a Pixelborn player for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he's only able to use Rockstar once this turn. He did ink a Captain Hook one cost. So he might have been able to get a little bit more advantage out of it.
Yeah, it looks like he has a pretty top end hand here.
So I think you just quest here. I don't think you worry about taking out.
I mean, you have to, right? Because he has 2 Elsa's in play, so he can just exert your guy anyway.
Right. And you have a Bodyguard, so
that's also true. I definitely would have took the 3 lore there and said, "Get to me."
I mean, 3 lore is not insignificant. I mean, if it was
It's
like
not a
one
thing to
lore, it
begin.
might be a different story. But
He also has five willpower, so
Yeah.
he has to run 2 Elsas into your Zimba, or somehow he has to get rid of Zimba and also get 5 damage on your Stitch. I think I would have took the 3 lore pretty happily.
I any effort he's gonna have to put into it is gonna cost him such an advantage that I definitely would just be like, I'll just end the turn, even if I have to end it just with Tinkerbell and play. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't think he has Giant Fairy in his hand.
No, I didn't see it either.
He had one when he Whole New Worlded. So
And he has another Stitch.
Another Rockstar.
Yeah, he has another Rockstar in his hand.
Okay. I mean, he must be low on low drops, or else he wouldn't have. So he exerts down the fairy, and he swings into. That's not legal.
He can't do that. We have to only attack into Zimba.
That's not. None of this is a legal play.
Yep. we're there we go. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Catching up. Thank you. Oh, I think he might have been confused because he drew from Stitch, but the bodyguard keyword is just that's not how that works.
Yeah, it's not like you have to like choose to activate it or something like that.
Right. So they're allowing for a full reset here.
Okay. I think we're early enough in the game's life cycle where that's okay, but I think in the long run, probably the Elsas would have tapped down,
Right. So Elsa should effectively tap down Tinkerbell here.
Right.
But the first Elsa has to attack into Zimba.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know how much you can rewind, or if he cared to rewind all that, but now they're
they're trying to catch up. I think this is now accurate. So where Tinkerbell is exerted with no damage on him.
Well, yeah. If Tinkerbell's exerted, then so is Elsa. That's the point.
Right. And then he played Hook to get back a Fire the Cannons.
To take out the Simba that the damaged Elsa challenged.
Right. All right. So we're caught up.
So we're fine now. I don't think there's anything inefficient about those plays other than like, you were just in a situation where you had to deal with Simba and you don't want to, but you have no choice. So
yeah,
it was just a good situation for the Simba player.
I guess the difference is that rather than ever exerting Elsa, you could have just used Elsa to attack, and then you'd still have Fire the Cannons in your hand.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So the key point there is that Elsa got exerted, and you had to waste the Fire the Cannons.
Yeah, I mean, right this moment, Elsa's kind of exerted for no reason, I guess.
Well, no, she would be exerted to
damage on her.
Right. She would have to, but yeah.
Or she wouldn't need to be exerted.
All right. I'm keep seeing this Be Our Guest filter play. If he hit Rapunzel here, this would be fine.
Or if he hit Big Tink here, I think it's fine too.
Yeah, Big Tink's good too. We missed
the now exerted Elsa.
yeah. Be really good actually. We do miss both. But we have Rockstar. We can start Rockstaring now. Obviously the worry here is your opponent is Steel, so you don't really want to overcommit to just getting beat by Grab Your Swords. So if you can pressure the board in other ways, I think you're setting yourself up well. But I think this is still a turn that like I'm okay playing Lilo on.
So he gets Aerial, and I think he has. I think there's multiple. Yeah, there's Be Our Guest, Grab Your Sword, and A Whole New World, all in that Aerial. And he chose to take Grab Your Sword, which I think is probably the right call.
Yeah, he also has A Whole New World already.
Yeah, I guess you could argue to take the Be Our Guest just to get a better character, but I think it's fine to take Grab Your Sword here.
Yeah.
Because both decks are kind of, you have to deal damage in combat, so I think it's totally fine. So he doesn't quest with Rockstar. I wouldn't quest with Rockstar here either, especially given the nature of him playing hooks and smashes, etc. Oh, he does. I thought his turn was over. Okay, my bad.
It's just the matter again with Elsa, right? Like if he has Elsa and he can just tap.
Yeah. I thought the turn was over. My bad.
But we get we get to go up 4 lore. Once it puts us at 9.
Yeah, it's a pretty healthy. It's a pretty healthy. Pretty healthy lead right now. I mean, because you don't want Lilo to quest. You have to now swing multiple cards into Stitch to take care of that clear threat.
Right.
And all he does is play a Mickey here, which means he's probably not going to get any kind of damage cards out of him. You know he has the grab your sword, so you really can't make inefficient trades. That's what he does. He swings both characters into the Rockstar, which is what I would do here, knowing that your opponent has grab your sword. So I mean, he really has no choice given the known information.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that the Ariel's just going to sing and get rid of that hook, put 2 damage on Mickey.
Yep.
Gain some lore and move forward, but kind of just is where we are.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically trading 1 card for 1 lore by singing grab your sword here. I have no issue with that. I mean, again, you put yourself in a situation where, yeah, the Mickey can trade into something, but it's not going to be, I mean, yeah, he can swing into Lilo and survive, but like, that's not that big of a deal. So he's actually 6. I guess he is the second Rockstar. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the second Rockstar. So this is where it starts to be a little mean. But now we can also just, like I said, we can sing here, or we can just pick up some lore.
I think you actually can just swing the Tinkerbell into the hook and survive, and then swing the other 2 characters probably.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Still threaten the grab your sword to get rid of get rid of more efficient threats next turn. Right. Every turn that you can hold a card instead of using it, especially when it's AoE, you just have a chance of doing damage that's more relevant. So I'm curious to see what he does here. No, he just sings it. That's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't know that you might have been able to get rid of a more relevant threat, because now the Mickey's just going to take out the Lilo. So I definitely would swing here with the Tinkerbell as well.
Unless he's planning on drawing a card, which,
yeah, that's fair. I mean, he could do that. I mean, you can draw and discard a card if you feel like you have nothing of value.
No, it looks like he gains the lore, goes up to
10, I assume.
12.
Oh yeah, 3 altogether. So 12.
Yeah, 3 altogether puts him to 12.
Yeah,
he hasn't. It looks like he has not moved his die.
Yeah, he wrote it down, but he hasn't moved it yet.
I'm okay. I respect the writing it down method.
So it's not lethal yet. So it's at 12, and he has 7 in play. So it's not lethal yet.
So yeah, we get rid of Lilo.
Obviously, he has to start getting rid of characters, and this is the play that I figured would happen. And then
so Ursula
1 more
takes a lore off, gets him to draw a card
to 11, I guess. It costs him a Tinkerbell to do it.
Yeah, it goes 11, draws a card, which is, I mean, arguable. With the current board state, the Tinkerbell just isn't representing enough, though. So,
no, but I mean, the Ursula is always going to be a threat. But the problem is she's not a threat to take anything out of the opponent's board.
Right.
She's only a threat when you run into her and you're just forced to like run a ton of characters into her. I'll be curious to see what happens here. If he draws into a bunch of low characters, it'll be really powerful for him. I think that's a Lilo who just got out, and he has a Prince Eric in hand. Yeah,
he has a Prince Eric.
He can just continue to flood the board and draw cards.
Yeah, obviously he's like opening himself up to losing to a grab your swords, or putting himself in a bad position to grab your swords. But now it's just like, if my opponent does not have grab your swords,
yeah,
then the game is just going to be over. And then this is obviously the crazy thing here too, is that he gets to empty his whole hand here. He's going to draw another card. Is that another Prince Eric?
I thought it wasn't. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
so he's thinking that Prince Eric, which I think is interesting.
So now he's going to sing.
Right.
Okay. So he's going to try to continue to just keep drawing cards.
Right. Well, also just flat out threaten the game, where it's like you have to have. Don't get me wrong. Like, he has to have it. He already knew he discarded 2 of it, but it is one of those where I don't know how much further I would have to go. Like, you already have, it would just be to the number of +1, right? So as long as you can win the game and your opponent can't prevent you, I wouldn't go overkill past that.
So right this second, his board represents lethal next turn.
Just lethal, though.
Yeah, and that's without him swinging with the Rockstar and the Tinkerbell right now. If he was to just pass, it would be lethal.
Right.
But I'm sure he's going to, I mean, given these 2 bodyguards in play, I mean, he's definitely going to swing.
And then we just get to quest with Tink and...
Yeah.
And go.
I can't imagine after drawing 7 that you need to draw and discard anymore, but...
Right. But yeah, I think you literally just go, all right, I'll just gain my four lore, go to 15, and then...
I mean, 15, at that point, he would have to almost have double grab your swords to win, to come back from this.
Yeah. Because yes, like you said, he has to get through 2 Zimbas.
Yeah. I mean, a grab your swords and a Tinkerbell would probably put a lot of damage on there. So he's starting out with a draw, which means Mickey's not going to be able to challenge anyone, which is fine. I mean, you're looking for AoE here, and Mickey's probably okay.
He's
So he definitely does
digging.
not have Grab Your Swords or Tink, I would imagine.
Well, Tink wouldn't have been good enough anyway.
I mean, not now. Yeah, he scoops it up.
Yeah.
So he did not get Grab Your Swords. He was looking for Grab Your Swords and didn't get it. So
Rockstar sung like a rock star that particular game.
Yep, that was impressive. I really like the way that he that was a turn 3 Rockstar, I think, right?
Somewhere around there. No, he didn't have it that turn 3. He just had it early. He had it I think he played it on 4.
Yeah, that was. I mean, what I liked is that he was able to use Aerial really effectively to a whole new world multiple times.
Right.
And basically just continue to play small characters into Rockstar, so he never really lost any cards in those exchanges. Yeah,
that's the big thing, is that he was just able to utilize his removal better. He was able to protect his cards really well with Zimba and just threaten the board in multiple ways, even with high health characters. So he was, for most of that game, he was even positioning himself where he's like, I'm not going to even let you beat me with Grab Your Sword. Like, I'm going to represent a way to win the game without those things.
And because he knows his opponent is Amethyst Steel and not Amethyst Ruby,
right?
He knows that basically playing a whole new world and giving your opponent 7 cards doesn't necessarily represent a board wipe.
Right.
It represents damage-based removal. But a lot of that, even with Grab Your Sword, is still not going to get through to my characters all the time.
Right.
So you have to give him a 7-card hand that's full of gas to come back every time. And you're also nullifying like their friends and their other card draw.
Right.
So if you don't have the card, if that's your best way of getting back, keeping the pressure on the game, and you're not necessarily giving your opponent a ton of gas, I think it's a great situation for this deck to be in to play that to their advantage. So I see he has the Lilo Simba turns 1-2. I'm curious to see whether or not I'm sure he's going to keep that. I'm curious to see what else. I see a Grab Your Sword there, and he has an Aerial, so he'll probably just get rid of Aerial. I'm sure he'll get rid of the other songs that are in his hand.
Right.
To try to give Aerial the best chance of hitting anything. And he has 12 songs in his deck, I assume.
Right. Yeah, I believe it's 12, all 12. I'm sorry, I'll confirm that in a second.
I can look.
So he has 4, 4, and 4. Yeah, so it's 12 songs.
No one respects the part of your world.
No one, man. It's a good card. People should play it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this deck has no recursion whatsoever. No Hades 4-drop, Lord of the Underworld, and not even a single part of your world.
And same thing, no Captain Hook, no Fire the Cannons.
Yeah.
So just 0 recursion whatsoever.
So we mulligan away. Queen goes down. Captain Hook, which in this matchup, I mean, is just a solid 1-for-1. I mean, it can take out your 3-drop and Aerial. So if she does survive, and he does not allow Simba to trade with him effectively, the 1-cost Simba. So I'll be curious to see if he even bothers playing it. I think he's probably just going to play his own Hook here, but he may just not care and just play his own Simba if he wants also. Which looks like what he's doing. I don't think he has a Stitch here.
Well,
yeah. So he's just trying to make his hand more efficient. Because I see that he has like Tinkerbell, but no Giant Tink, for example. So he's just trying to get a hand that's more efficient. He can put himself in a position where he would swing Simba into Hook and then little Tink away. So he gets rid of the Lilo. I think that's strong on the draw, which is what happened here. If he was on the play, obviously this game would play out a lot different.
Right.
Turn 1, but just getting rid of her doesn't matter. So he quests immediately. Again, no threat. So I totally agree. If they both have 1 damage on them, that Simba's not long for this world. So
right.
It doesn't really matter. He inks another Hook. So and then the Simba body. I don't know that I like that exactly. I mean, now you're that Hook is definitely going to trade with that Simba now.
I guess it's still a 1-for-1 trade. Yeah, in cost it is, but his other choices were to play Eric, I think.
I mean, but what does Simba do here? That's the problem.
It prevented your opponent from getting a lore.
I guess, but he can't swing with it again.
What it did.
Can't really swing with it again. That's the problem. So he's going to play Aerial here, I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah,
So we
so we'll see
the
what you got.
aerial. What we find a BR guest at the very
Be our
least.
guest right away. So
Yep.
And I think Be Our Guest is underrated a little bit. I think a lot of people just ink it a lot of times I see. But I think it has a lot of use in decks like this because you have such varied threats that it's really powerful. So here he's just basically saying, I can prevent you from singing friends, or you can swing into me.
Right.
So that's his
Absolutely.
second war, right? 2-0?
What was that?
2-1 now?
1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the best play. Like, if your opponent is not singing to prevent you from getting a lore, like, you're in a good position.
Yeah.
So I will take that trade all day long because it's just forcing more. Again, like, so they felt forced to row a Tinkerbell.
Yep.
Rather than a much worse card.
Which I guess he feels like he must have. I guess he fears a whole new world a little bit. He figures that Tink is not gonna ever
right,
get
but
played
like
anyway.
now we look at this board state, and this Ariel can just exert
Take off
sync,
whole
grab your
board.
swords,
Yeah,
and just like your entire board is just gone now.
Yeah. So there you go. Rose Be Our Guest. See, that's exactly what happens. Ariel.
We just get this. We get to Wrath of God your board.
Yep.
Bye bye to all your friends. And then we just follow up with the Tinkerbell. That's cool. I would have been okay with the Ariel also, for what it's worth.
And he has Giant Tink in hand, so
right.
I mean, obviously, there's nothing in play for him to challenge next turn, but
ooh.
So he has no Beast Mirrors in his deck, does he?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
So we fire the cannons and Ariel. Do we get to Rapunzel? Oh wait, I'm sorry. This list actually didn't have Rapunzel. That was the other thing that I missed earlier.
Okay, that would have been really strong right here.
yeah. I mean, he's got plenty of good options.
I mean, Ariel has definitely done her job. So.
Yep, absolutely. Sung above curve. Got rid of 3 characters. Found you a card. She did lots of good stuff.
So I guess his playing Giant Tink plan here to gain 2 lore is not good, obviously, because he has the Fire of the Cannons in hand. So I assume that's what he planned on doing, and that was out the window. So he plays another Ariel. She misses.
Yep, it's okay.
I mean, that's the thing. She has 1 more willpower than the Maleficent Sorcerer, but whoa. I'm not really sure you can do that, but okay.
Do what?
I didn't like what just happened right there. I don't know if you saw it.
The judge picked it up to confirm all the cards were the same direction.
I thought the player didn't just pick up the ink to see what it was.
No.
Okay.
So we have Zimba, and we're on Zimba trigger, I believe. We did not discard the Zimba yet.
We have not resolved it yet.
Looks like we're getting rid of a Stitch.
Yeah.
And that leaves us with Smash that's getting inked and a Whole New World. Or no, Tink, right? Big Tink.
Big Tink is the last card in the hand.
Yeah. And then we just do nothing.
I think you swing with the Ariel, the damaged Ariel here. You know he has Fire of the Cannons. You know he's going to use it.
Yeah, I think I would have took the lore. I agree.
Plays his own. Then he plays his own Sorcerer Mickey, and then wow.
There we go. We get to draw some cards.
So this is a big turn. Like he has not. Has he? I guess he has played. Has he? No, he has not inked yet. Yeah, this is a big turn. Oh wow, and even
the Brooms was a rough play there. Only because it's going to end up being removed. You're not going to get the ability from it.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't draw a Whole New World here, this could be game this turn. To be honest with you.
No, I think it's like, I don't think it's over yet.
He has Tink.
Right. Like he has Tink, which is going to get rid of Captain Hook and the Broom.
Yeah.
And still have a Tinkerbell. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so we shift in, we get to do one everything. We get to run our Tinkerbell into Captain Hook.
Yeah.
There is that trade. Captain Hook goes. We get to do 2 damage to, I assume, the Broom. Yep. See you later.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. He had no other source of damage, so.
And then we get a Lilo. That's pretty good, too. We just quest for 2. So move the game forward. puts us
So now it's going to
to
depend on what he has. He already used the fire the cannons, yeah. So, his own tank, very nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw. Let's put the damage on the one.
Yeah.
The one willpower.
Put that one damage on the wheel.
Let's hope for the best. I'm all for that.
So I think you just. I know it's overkill, but I think you just swing into the tank here. I don't like giving my opponent the ability to swing where he wants with tank to put 2 damage somewhere else.
Right.
Or I mean, like I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I guess it's still that still represents a, lethal, but at the same time, I think I just take the trait where I can.
So we beat our guest. I'm not really sure. Obviously, we would have loved either one of those songs.
Yeah, the hits are just bad. They're game. Getting these 1 and 2 drops just doesn't help you very much.
No, if anything, like Rockstar would have been our only like real card. We won it. We didn't get it, so we get to trade out.
So what's he? I guess now he just holds back the tank. I assume. Yeah. See this.
So we're both off the top of our deck here. Just to be
he has cards off to the side.
Oh, okay.
And was off to the side. So like that's where I feel like this is just not gonna be a good situation.
Right.
I mean, we're obviously in the early game in terms of lore generation. It's only 4-1, but like I can't fathom that tank is long for this world. But I guess if you have nothing, if you don't draw into any kind of removal at all, I guess your tank just has to hold back now too. And we're just now in this giant waiting game. I mean, we'll have get in for 1, but you're just in this giant waiting game now at this point.
Yeah.
Hans, I'm surprised about that considering if he doesn't have an answer to tank, that Hans represents an answer to tank.
Right. Well, that's a good one.
Yeah. See what he gets. I mean, he's gone through a lot of songs. So he did. Wow.
He got a whole new world. Now he can play this too.
Right. He can sing it with a Tinkerbell. I wonder if I don't know that I can do it right this second, but we have to assume that the Amethyst player doesn't have any type of removal. I'll see what he used it immediately on the tank. So I think holding a turn here is perfectly fine.
Right.
You just have to assume that he didn't have a way of taking out that tank. So why would he have it now? All right. Well, now you have no way of singing that song. So that's really bad.
So this is just like literally banish. Yeah. Yep. This is the worst. The worst of it.
This is Tinkerbell and Elsa combo right here.
Yep. It's pretty good.
So now your whole new world is like
you're just behind.
Just bad.
This has been a trend of the day. Like you cannot play a whole new world when you're behind. You just can't. And he's in a position where he's going to feel forced to again. But in all honesty, at this point in the game, the likeliness of him being able to catch up with giving his opponent, a whole fresh card of hand, etc. Like it's just really difficult. I'm glad he decided not to play it, but even at that, like I don't know how he's going to climb out of it without playing it.
I agree. I don't even know why. I mean, I guess you just fire the cannons, assuming that it's not going to be in your hand next turn. But
yeah, there's no reason not to. In the end,
it's not going to do anything here. So he quests for 4, goes up to 6. I mean, that's pretty much just going to be what happens from now on out. He's representing just 4 turn. Taking out that Elsa is going to be pretty difficult, given his hand state.
Yeah, it's going to be next to impossible.
He just has no choice but to play this and give both players all the cards. It really doesn't because the Amethyst player is just going to play everything off the top and continue to get threats.
Right.
And you're not. So I think
he needed a Rockstar or a Tinkerbell to be able to freely play it, or an Ariel, or whichever. But he didn't get any of those cards. So for 3 turns, his opponent is just like had better cards, and like grab your swords is great, but it's not enough.
So grab your sword doesn't even allow the other 2 characters to take out Elsa.
Right.
So even though you quest up to 6, I think it is.
I think it'll be 7.
Is it 7? I mean, he's questing for 5. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for him, I'm just questing. Like I wouldn't even bother.
Oh, my Elsa. I mean, I guess you're just saying. I mean, I don't know about this. Now grab your sword puts them back into the game.
Right.
Like, let them make that decision. I wouldn't make the decision for them, but I mean, it's
I would have definitely put myself up 5 more lore.
yeah. So he rose
Extend the lead in the
Rockstar.
game, represent even further.
Yeah.
But like this doesn't matter. The game is like the fact now that he's doing that, the game is just over. Like we get to go quest for what 9 or 7 next turn, go to 17. My opponent has to find a million ways to catch up.
And you're ahead on ink. You're ahead on.
You fire the cannons. Why not?
Sure.
Ursula, take a lore from you, draw a card, represent a million.
I mean, Ursula is the game over play there, obviously.
Yeah, it's literally you can't get rid of Ursula. So you just went to 17 lore, and now you have Ursula, which is a 3. It's just a 3 lore. So we're gonna go to game 3.
I mean, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I think the game was over a lot earlier than those last.
The game is over much earlier, for sure. Just to give everyone a heads up, it looks like Jonathan won 2-0 over Ryan. So we'll have Ruby Amethyst in the finals playing the winner of this next game. Which is great because we got to see Ruby Amethyst all day.
So everything you said Jonathan won, so everything we talked about before is now applicable now.
Well, it's applicable for the Ruby Amethyst deck. It'll be a different matchup.
Yeah.
So we get to go back to the Song aggro on the play, which in game 1 was a big deal. In game 2, he had the opening hand that if he was on the play, it would have been more effective. So if we can see another hand like that, we might see a very different game for game 3 here.
So he needs Rockstar. I mean, is what I've noticed. He needs to be playing threats and drawing cards as a result of it. I don't even know that like I see he has Simba in hand. Like if he has the whole Lilo Simba thing, I don't even think it matters in this matchup, considering his opponent's probably going to keep a cannons anyway. I mean, I'm not probably not mulliganing all this stuff, but I mean he did a pretty aggressive mulligan. I assume he kept Aerial and something else. I couldn't see.
Multiple. I know he had multiple aerials in the hand.
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly sure what he grabbed. So we kept Baby
Simba and like the 1-cost Simba and some other stuff. I see a Goons, but obviously he drew into that.
He drew off the Goons. He drew a Lilo. He drew another aerial.
He kept both aerials and the Simba.
Right. So we get to play Lilo here and hope that our opponent does not have Fire the Cannons.
Yeah, I mean, again, she's uninkable, so it really doesn't matter. But I don't know what just happened there.
But yeah. I was like, what? Well, that's cool. So that's good. So you get your 2 lore, which is better than not getting your 2 lore. If you have the Zimba here, you're feeling great.
He mulligan one away, so I doubt it.
Yeah, he mulligan one away, which unless he had 2 of them, he's going to play the difference here. But it looks like he has double Ariel over there, a Prince, a Zimba, a 1-cost Zimba. So he has a Prince Eric.
See, I think I would have played the 1-cost Simba here because the 1-cost Simba would represent extra lethal onto the hook anyway. So let the hook trade into Lilo and then just take it out with a 1/2, and it's a perfect fine trade. Now you're like, I don't really know what you're doing at this point. Like board just
might be just playing for a grab your sword. So like we have 2 aerials.
Yeah,
so we get to aerial. We get
just a whole new world. Also, I mean, any song here is good, but song is not good.
That feels bad. But next turn we get to do it again, and my opponent's board is definitely looking into being grab your sorted on turn 4, which feels great. Especially if he just goes Maleficent here again or something like that. Okay, so that one doesn't die to grab your sword.
Yeah.
We pick up a Goons. Man, which is likely our row of the choice. Well, Ariel, we'll get my 4 cards back that you stole my deck for.
I mean, at this point, he has a much higher chance of hitting because there you go.
We get the whole new world.
He hasn't hit a song yet. So, I mean, a larger majority of his deck is songs at this point. So, I think I guess he would have rather had Grab Your Sword there, but at the same time, like, obviously, that's a perfectly fine hit. So, you definitely play the Simba here.
Yeah.
You get rid of oh, he just immediately played it. Wow.
Huh. I would have considered playing Zimba first to find grab your sword.
I would have probably waited a turn there. I mean, you have a much wider board at this point, but I don't know that you have necessarily like a more powerful board.
Is that multiple?
I saw a lantern that wasn't going to get played. I think he has at least one grab your sword that I can tell.
I thought they were carefree stitches, but he doesn't play that card.
It's hard for me to see.
I meant the surfer.
So I assume, yeah. Hook trades into the aerial. I wonder if I think you just exert down the Lilo because who cares?
I would exert down Lilo and run Broom into it.
Right.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, let the Broom get traded off with Eric. Who cares?
Yeah, like get the most out of your board.
Right. All right. So he played inks a queen and then takes it back.
I think he had maybe already inked something.
Yeah, it only is turn 4. Yeah. So he plays out Magic Mirror, which will not get any, which means he just doesn't have anything else to play because there's not a lot of value here.
Yeah,
I still think I'd make this play. I don't care. Like the Broom does not represent anything unless he has Mickey in hand. Yeah, that's exactly what he does. He taps down the Lilo and then.
And granted, the mirror is powerful here because there are no beasts in the Song deck. So that mirror is here to stay. There's no worry about it, getting picked off.
Or for the rest of your days.
Yeah.
So I guess does he grab your sword here and just or does he just trade off the Elsa he gets rid of the Elsa with the Prince and then gets rid of the
I think he has 2 Whole New Worlds in his hand and a grab your sword.
If he has all that, then it might be a different story. But
I don't even know that you need to grab your sword, right?
Again, it's one of those situations where why put damage on your own characters when you don't have to. So if you're gonna Whole New World anyway, then why put 2 damage on Ariel and 2 damage on why put 2 damage on Ariel here?
I mean, he probably just wants to be able to grab your I don't even know. I guess I'm okay with just not doing that play at all.
Because now, on the other side, if I fire the cannons here, I'm firing the cannons Ariel away, and then that really hurts your ability to do other things. So he did have the Mickey, so he had to get rid of the Broom.
Oh, he has a Broom. Okay.
Yeah. So now I guess grab your sword is better.
Right. I think he put a Tink back in his deck there.
Looked that way to me.
All right, so double Whole New World and grab your sword and a Tinkerbell, which is interesting. So he had honestly the double Whole New World is really unfortunate because obviously the rest of his hand is pretty fire. So now we have double grab your swords.
So the lantern allows him to play the Tink if he wants to, but I don't think he wants to.
He has a shiftable Tink anyway.
Oh yeah, that's also true. But we can't get rid of the Mickey.
Double grab your swords gets rid of Mickey.
Double grab your swords does, yeah, but I'm not going all in for that. I still think you need to. And if you do, then you're really saying I have a Whole New World in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he did. All right, then he's definitely telegraphing that he has a Whole New World in hand.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Because that is definitely paying 5 for a fire the cannons.
Now to note, there's no rush characters in this deck, so there's no worry about Rafiki here. Obviously, Tinkerbell is good enough to get clear of the board, but he also didn't have to be afraid of Rafiki or Zeus there, which would have made his Ariel a little bit better. But Tinkerbell does Tinkerbell things as usual.
So what type of situation are we in now? Now we're in where playing one Tinkerbell has completely shifted the game because having a mirror and a Tink is massive here.
Yeah.
You really can't threaten the board at all. You can't you can a Whole New World, but at this point, I don't know. Now your Tinkerbell is exerted and his isn't.
Well, they would trade into each other anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is tough. I guess we're down to a situation he can't play the Lilo here. I guess he can play an Eric or something. All right, that's decent. I mean, I can't imagine he doesn't have a smash, but we'll see what happens.
Right. You are playing mirrors, so you have to expect these things.
Yep. Grab your sword and wow. Okay. So does he have another Tink? Oh, he has the cannon.
We're just leaving the Zimba.
Does he have something else? Okay.
Oh, if he gets it back, and then yeah.
There's a lot of shortcutting here, people. Don't worry.
Yes.
The hook gets back the cannons gets rid of the Simba, and now we're at perfectly fine
even
state again. We're at equilibrium again with what's going on.
So we have Rockstar. It might be willing here to just take the turn off, play Rockstar. Obviously, he has a couple different. He has to pay a quite hefty amount for this. So I think he has Prince Eric's in his hand. He could play an Eric if he wanted to, just to draw like an additional card this turn, or he's gonna row the Eric. Okay, and then just plays Zimba. Yeah, that's fine too.
I mean,
this is where I don't think I would have went to that extent.
I mean, the Tink activation by taking out the Simba, if it goes onto the Lilo instead of going onto the Rockstar, it's 2 less damage than the Rockstar has. Yeah, so I think it's actually fine. You're basically just cycling a card for 1 at that point. Like, we know the Lilo is not long for this world. I mean, now she's certainly not long for this world. Less time than I thought she'd even survive.
Right.
I wonder what else he has, because I mean, you could have. No, you couldn't get through. I guess you couldn't get through to the Rockstar to take it out in 1 turn, even with the Tinkerbell activation. He has to have some big card here, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. So he gets rid of a lantern.
One of them, yeah.
That's still pretty good. He still has now 5 lore left over on the board.
Oh, he friendsed also? Oh, hard cast it. Okay.
Yeah.
That went really fast. I didn't see the friends until the end.
Yeah, it's okay. Fast players are fast.
No, yeah, it's fine. I wonder.
Oh, okay. I can now understand why the speed I was missing on this one. There's only 2.5 minutes left, or less, in the round at this point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
These aren't these are still timed?
These the top 8 was timed, yes, because of the convention timing.
Okay. So he aerials, gets a whole new world. I mean, this is still what, 2 lore to 0, right?
Yes.
No one's gained lore in like.
It's been
in a million turns. It seems like
quite a bit of time. I agree.
So he's going to do Rockstar things. He's going to continue to do Rockstar things. Continue to do Rockstar things.
Yeah, I just that's what we're going to do.
I mean, it's definitely more efficient than paying 4 to do the same type of situation with the mirror.
Right. I mean, you get lore and board and make your opponent have to work for it.
Oh, that's pretty good. So he opens the Rockstar up to definitely not surviving next turn.
No.
And the Tink has 1 damage on her?
I believe it's just 1, yeah. Dice aren't very kind to us.
So you're going to get 2 for... Okay. So that he plays Elsa. Yeah, keeps those exerted down. So he just trades... Yeah, that trades off there. And then I assume Tink takes out 2 characters? The other 2 un-Elsa characters, I assume? Or... Okay, that's... Oh, okay. Yeah, so she definitely had more damage on her than 1.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much damage he had.
Interesting that obviously he probably shortcut himself a little bit there, but it would have been nice to know that you could have just left 2 characters that didn't untap.
I just wonder if he had more than 1 remaining and could have just taken out the hook and done that 2 damage in a more. I don't know. I couldn't tell on the die.
So I think there's a good chance that we're about to be in time. We'll have to see.
So this will likely be turn 0?
It looks like there was an extension. So there was a 3-minute extension, it seems.
Okay. For all
yeah. If you can see the clock got a 3-minute addition to it.
Okay. So So we're doing Rockstar things again.
Yep.
But we're out of ink.
All right, so he goes to 3 there.
There was
right?
lore gained.
Right. So we get to go up to 3 lore. And we get to draw. That's never a good sign. We get to get rid of another lantern.
Hey man, Beast done their job, taking out all those lanterns.
Yeah, literally. So what does this do? Does this just gain you 3 lore here?
No, I think you have to start taking out the small characters. I think this is totally fine.
Okay.
I mean, unfortunately, Hook and that small Stitch will just take her out.
Right.
But I don't think you really have much of. And now, is that a Tink that he just drew?
It is.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, it's not gonna matter all that much, other than someone's at my door. Hang on.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So we have a grab your swords. We're gonna continue to do Rockstar things, but his hand has very, very loaded. The ability to discard with Zimba here, draw another card, play goons, draw another card. He's constantly, moving through his deck. He gets to play Lantern. There's a lot of represented lore right now. And then on top of that, he's going to exert here, which he gets to then, lots of stuff going on. So we get rid of the Elsa. We have a Beast left, and we have a million cards in play. And we're very much just hoping that that Grab Your Swords is good enough. He's definitely digging for it. So we have an Elsa.
So what's Elsa tapping down here?
Rockstar, I guess. Assuming that Rockstar even... I guess he can't get rid of Rockstar this turn, so it's Rockstar. And then Beast has to just get rid of literally a Captain Hook.
I mean, it was either that or Lilo, so for Beast here.
Yeah. So we should be approaching time here, if there is not another extension. Tinkerbell seems good.
Oh yeah.
So gets rid of Beast. Gets to play Stitch, draw a card.
Man. It's really amazing how the Amethyst deck is just not drawing into the AoE it needs.
So then we just hardcast a BR guest. We found another Tinkerbell, which is great. And then we're going to turn all of our cards sideways and gain 4 lore.
To go to 9?
I believe it's to 9, yes. All right, so seems like we're about to be told about turns. So this will be effectively...
Turn 0.
Turn 0.
So I wonder... I don't think he can even gain enough.
We just exerted our Elsa to draw 2 cards.
He really needs a... Exactly.
He found it. He did find the Grab Your Swords, so that's good.
All right. So there's lots of banished characters going on here.
Right. Lots of banished ink for sure.
And he plays.
And then we get Ursula. So Ursula's good. Gets a draw card. Represents 6 lore on the back end and 2 pretty gigantic big butt characters.
I don't think he can gain enough lore in extra turns to win.
So it's so he's up 9 already. We can gain 5, go to 14.
I think he has a chance of winning the long, like a full game.
Full game, right?
But I don't think he, even with 3 lore characters in play, I don't think he can gain enough. So I assume he plays it, draws a card with Stitch.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He has a goons also. There's just no reason for him not to do these things at this point. I mean, to me, this is a just gain 5 lore situation.
Yeah.
So I'm not really considering playing a whole new world.
Oh no, I totally agree. Not when
you
have
yeah.
So you're trying to figure out how many turns are left.
Right. You just gotta be able to do the math of just going like he literally, if I go to 14 plus and have other cards in play, like he can't get above that.
I mean, his best thing he can do is play another Elsa and go and gain a bunch of lore and then maybe go to 15.
Which is all the more reason to not a whole new world, because the last thing you would do
totally.
is give him another Elsa.
I think Elsa, something else is his only outs at this point. Just to gain enough lore to even like threaten the extra turn win.
Right.
I mean, and now his Tink can take out Elsa and survive.
Right.
And then Ursula can't take out Simba.
Yeah.
So I think you would do that, even though we're in like this literal pure racing situation. I still think I would do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're already up, so
yeah. You're it's what 8-0.
And if you're taking 3 lore off your opponent's board, you're lessening the things that they can do.
No, he just quested. It looks like,
which is fine. I'm not particularly certain which line is better. But if he does have another Elsa here, and he puts himself up to 6, taps down the 2 biggest things, grab your swords, okay, right? Like it doesn't flat out remove anything itself.
No, and now he needs Tink also. He needs grab your sword and Tink.
Right. The Tinker profile would be really good here, but he'd still only be able to get the 12 lore.
Yeah. Right. I totally agree. I think at this point, not having another Elsa, it's game. Because we're just going to be in that extra turn situation where there's just not enough lore to be gained. I mean, this is nothing.
Right. So he's just going to go. 6. He goes with the 6.
Now we're on turn 3.
Right.
So the Steel player has 2 more turns, and the Amethyst player only has 1.
Right.
So it's 6-13 right now. I mean, he even all he has to do is gain 2 lore, and then the game's over.
Effectively, yeah.
I mean, I guess 3 lore if you count.
I think
he knows that. He's scooping it up.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a good game. I mean, it came down to Rockstar. He won both those games off the power of Rockstar.
Yep, absolutely, which is not at all remotely shocking to me.
What's shocking to me and impressive to me is that the resilience that it still had to the AoE.
Right.
So what did he lose? Like 7 characters to the grab your sword the one time, and it didn't even matter.
No, literally didn't matter.
Like what mattered is that he was eventually drawing into better cards after the Rockstar shenanigans to gain back any advantages his opponent would have to be in the opposite way.
Right.